So there's running water. I am hoping nothing is flooded ahead. Let's go and check it out. Jawaharlal Nehru, in his book The Discovery of India, said, "If the past had a tendency to become the present also sometimes receded into the distant past and assumed its immobile, statuesque appearance. In the midst of an intensity of action itself, there would suddenly come a feeling as if it was some past event and one was looking at it, as it were in retrospective." You know, it is fascinating that every event in our lives has its own importance. We sometimes live it, and sometimes we are just not there. Taking some time off and living such moments surely rejuvenates. Hello my dear friends, thank you for tuning into my channel. My name is Vish and you're watching Vish the Weekender. Alright, so it's another day where I'm going to go on a trek. So this place is going to be familiar because I have been to this place in the past. It's the Khilla Ghanpur. So Khilla Ghanpur is a historical place where there is a fort which is obviously all ruined at this point of time. So we are going to explore the ruins there. As I said, I've been to this place in the past, so this is going to be a familiar place. But quite a bit changed. To talk about the distance to Khilla Ghanpur from Hyderabad, it's about 140 kilometers, close to 140 kilometers one side. So it's on the way to Bangalore. I need to part my route from the Bangalore highway after crossing Jadcherla. So the plan for today is I'm going to pick up Rahul and we will start from there and get on to the outer ring road and then get down on Bangalore highway, and then we'll have breakfast and then start off towards our destination. The urge to be part of nature was not just a passing thought. It was an impulsive instinct that pulled me towards it. So the weather condition is going to be very likely for trekking because we are at the end of monsoon and it has rained significantly in the last 3 days. So I'm expecting there to be a lot of vegetation on this hill, which is going to be a really good thing because the appearance would totally change. The entire fort's appearance is going to entirely change, and I'm sure it's going to be intimidating. So we just had breakfast. I'm going to share this place location and all. You can find a link in the description.
And don't come to this place again.
So the food is not so great. It's okay. I can say it's good, but not great. but it works. On a highway, you get a decent food is what really matters. So, as we embarked on our journey, subconsciously, we were awaiting the breathtaking landscape views. The true richness of the adventure lay in the unexpected conversations that would shape my understanding of the world and my place in it. We eventually parted ways from National Highway 44 at Bhutpur, left the familiar streets and city behind, and traveled far to settle in nature snugly for a while. The trees and plants got watered by the rain from previous days, which turned the entire area into green. The countryside road seemed to have a rhythm. The fields around us and hills in the distance made our journey remarkable. We switched between the roads, those that were good to those that were getting better. Ghanpur. We entered the heart of the village and into the tapering streets. Ghanpur is also called as Khilla Ghanpur after the famous fort here. We carefully navigated through the narrow village roads and aging whitewashed houses. We assessed the path and vulnerable spots and then finally reached the hill. Alright guys, so we have finally reached Khilla Ghanpur, and we are at the starting point here. Just parked the car there, and this is the hill, this is the starting point. As I was saying earlier this morning, since we are in the monsoon, end of the monsoon rather, the vegetation is going to be intense. So that's the case. So this is where it actually starts. The road actually ends. I mean, this road is actually, you can, if you have a vehicle which has a four-wheel drive or which has a very good ground clearance, then I think you can actually drive your car upon this particular stretch. But I wouldn't recommend, because it gets a bit intense at this point here. But you have very good driving skills, then I think you can actually make it. So we're going to take it easy. We will be walking very slowly just to save our energy for further trek and all. The silence around the place, the whistling birds, the gentle wind, all these together, it was a thought-provoking sight. Okay, just started a trek and wanted to give you a view around this place. There is a lake right that side, and the other side is the village itself. We continued our trek, ascending the rugged trail that led us to the ancient ruins. The gravel beneath my boots provided a steady rhythm, though the path was uneven. Now we get a wider view of the lake and the village and a cow. Okay, so the little section where it would take you to the place at the foothill is about to be completed. So the weather is kind of muggy. As I said, It rained hard in past 3 days, so it's all humid and muggy. Up until this point, we walked enough and decided to take a break. Alright, so we just found a proper shade under the tree, so I thought of taking our first break here. It's quite, it's very nice. The breeze, it's cold. The midday sun was high in the clear sky, but the broad branches of the trees, extending like open arms, gave us shelter and relief. Okay, so we have begun our trek after a short break. The route looks something like this. The sun was at its peak during the day when our sight first uncovered the ruins. This fort was built by Kakatiya King Gonagana Reddy in the early 13th century, one of the feudators of Kakatiya kings. So there's a crack in the ceiling. The zeal behind building the empire was great, which eventually fell apart. The ruins unfolded before us like the pages of an ancient forgotten book. The purpose of the fort withered by time and now bore the weight of bygone civilizations, standing as evidence proving the history. As we walked through these remnants, our imagination transported us back in time. Just look at this. How cool is this? Though these stones echoed its mighty past, over a period of time, it got tamed and now in agreement with the customs. So the good thing about the vegetation and all this, the trees have actually formed a canopy, and which is giving us shade, which is actually quite comforting. So nice. Though we were walking under the canopy of trees, the sweat on our bodies was the effect of the sun trying to control their temperature. We walked into deeper parts of the hill, and all we could hear was sand crumbling under our feet, wavering branches, birds, and there was silence inside us. Our heartbeat emulated the metronome to our rhythmic footsteps. The route gets interesting here, so we just need to walk by this huge rock. In the 13th century, Gonaganappa Reddy and Rachella Padmanayakulu, also known as Singamanayakulu I, joined two hills to make this hill fort. Many battles occurred between Bahamanis, Vijayanagara, Bijapur, Qutub Shahi kings and others at this fort. Okay, so seems like we have reached the top of this hill. Almost. Yeah, looks like it. We just found this particular, trail. We are hoping that it would lead us to the, the ruins of the fort. After you walk far into the hill, you can see, along with the palace ruins, the minister's house. So there are these buildings, by each other. Don't know what was the purpose they have made these, but yeah. The hope was to give shelter and protection to the intellectually mighty men of that time. But the irony is that both the men and their intellectual power faded away. It's nothing but a chamber. All that's left is ruins and the memories. And there's also a pond right here. Along with the beautiful rock and greenery, this fort has many ponds that the fort army used to get water to drink. Alright, just look at this pond. And fortunately there is an ample of a space to sit right here, and right there, unbelievable. Just look at this, and the clouds are rolling in. So we were actually anticipating for the rain to come, because it would be a some kind of different experience to trek while it's raining. Yeah. So we decided to spend some time at the pond, soaking in the nature. As the days unfolded, the pond became a silent witness to the passage of time, and with time, it grew tolerant as the moss and other debris took shelter in it. The construction of the fortress stands as a proof to the indomitable spirit and unwavering determination of ancient rulers. Looking at the unforgiving toughness of the hill, it was surely a Herculean task that required the mobilization of vast resources, skilled labor, and a visionary leadership. Yet, amidst the formidable fortress of the jungle, delicate ambassadors of fragility emerge: the flowers. Right, so I think we are done exploring this fort and the hill. So we have also, spent a significant amount of time, right at that pond. It was really nice. It was refreshing. So it's time for us to return back home. It was disappointing that I would miss the distant calls of birds, the rustling leaves, and the murmur of nearby stream. But I knew for sure the disappointment wouldn't last long. The weariness on my limbs gave me a sense of accomplishment, but I'm thankful to God for replenishing me with energy and relieving me from stress through nature.